Morning, everybody, and thank you for coming this morning. I'm here today to address the events that occurred last week leading to the charges in Minnesota. I want to begin by saying to the residents of Fort McMurray and Wood Buffalo how truly sorry I am for the embarrassment I have caused in failing to live up to the standards expected of me and the standards I expect of myself. It was a mistake for which there are no excuses, and for which I accept full responsibility. This is a deeply embarrassing time, and I profoundly regret the distress that I have caused my community. I will be saying sorry to a lot of people for a long time. I've already faced my parents, my children, and many of my friends, and now it's my responsibility to face my community. All I can ask is that I hope that my friends, neighbors, and community members try to find it in their hearts to forgive me. I will be taking time to reflect on the personal circumstances in my life that led me to make the decision I made, and I will determine what to do next to ensure that I am never in a place personally where I will make this kind of mistake again. I know I will have to work hard and long to regain your trust. With respect to the charges, there's not much I can say, as I have only seen those via media sources. Until I've had the opportunity to consult with legal counsel, there's nothing I will be able to say with respects to the allegations and the specifics. What I can tell you is that this has not been a pattern of behavior in the past, and clearly will not be in the future. Upon my release on Tuesday morning, I immediately informed the Chief Government Whip that I was involved in a legal incident and tendered my resignation from Government Caucus and all legislative committees. I did not want the controversy of this issue to affect the work of the Government of Alberta or the PC Party. These were personal actions, and I thought it was important that I also take immediate responsibility for those actions and apologize, and offered to pay the taxpayer funds that were used to fund this trip. Personal accountability means facing my responsibilities as a father, a son, a friend, a community member, and as the MLA for this community. I have never been one not to face responsibility for my actions, and I will go through the process of having a conversation with the community that I am ultimately accountable to. To be elected as your representative and serve this community in the Alberta Legislature has been a tremendous honor and privilege. That is why I so deeply regret that issues in my personal life have affected my ability to exercise my duties as an elected official, duties that I take very seriously. This incident has greatly damaged the trust established between me and my community, and before I make any decision about my future, I have to explore whether or not that trust can be rebuilt. I've thought long and hard about my future over the past few days, and I have had a great deal of time to reflect on what occurred and about what to do next. I've lived in this community for 20 years, and I have served this community as a member of the President of the Chamber of Commerce, as a member of the Municipal Council, and for the past 15 months I have represented this community in the Alberta Legislature. Fort McMurray is my home. I love this community, and I won't decline to face it in a moment of personal crisis. I am committed to having a conversation with my community prior to making a decision about my future, and I will not short-circuit that conversation by stepping aside immediately, as less difficult a route as that may be for me personally. And so I do not intend at this time to resign as MLA. I will be engaging in a serious and honest conversation with my community prior to the resumption of the legislature this fall about whether I can continue to serve this community as their MLA, and whether I can continue to advance the twinning of Highway 63 and other road improvements, the release of Crown land to build new neighborhoods, flood relief, and more in my current role. This community, which provides 30% of provincial revenues, still needs attention from the province to ensure responsible oil sands development that benefits all Albertans without compromising the quality of life of residents in this community. I will continue to work to advance that cause in whatever way I can in the future. In the end, my ability to do so as an MLA will be determined between me and those who elected me to office. As always, my office will remain open so that my constituents continue to bring their concerns and issues, and I will put forward my best effort in helping them. I know I have truly hurt and disappointed everyone, especially those who elected and put me here. And to all of them again, I say I'm sorry. I can only continue to hope that they have it in their hearts to forgive me. Thank you, and I'll take a few questions.
So just to confirm, the legislature resumes sitting on October 28th, so by then you'll have a decision about your political future.
I will. I don't know how long this process will take, but I'm going to take the time to do it right, and the future will be determined by the response I get from the community.
When will you begin regular office hours and meeting with constituents?
Office hours began again today. My assistant Shirley is here. She works for the legislature, and she is here to help constituents with any issues regarding the Alberta government.
What are some of the comments? How do you feel about some of the comments that have already come forward to you about all of the past week events?
I've received literally hundreds of text messages and emails and Facebook posts from friends and supporters that have told me to keep my chin up and not give up, and I'm simply humbled by that. I've also seen, I haven't received too many directly, but I've seen a lot of the opposite, and really my concern is not with the calls of the opposition. My concern is not with the calls of people that are from external sources. My concern is to deal with my constituents and the people who I represent, that I'm accountable to.
How will you take in what the constituents say about what you should do in the future? How are you going to take that into account for how your actions play out further, what you do further in this?
Well, there's some, in a way it's strategic. It's a matter of determining whether or not that I can be effective and still represent the community as an independent MLA in the legislature. I do know that whichever way it goes, I will be, whether I am sitting in the legislature as an independent or not, this is the community I love, and I will continue to advance the needs in any way I can.
How are you planning on reaching out to constituents to get feedback from them?
Well, certainly we've seen a lot by social media so far. I have a number of key stakeholders in the community that I've already spoken to. There are others that I still have to reach out to, many of my friends and supporters, and certainly my office will be able to take calls from anyone who would like to meet with me, or anyone who would like to, any way that people want to reach me. We have that available through the office number here at 790-6014, or they can reach me via email at it's fortmcmurray.woodbuffalo@assembly.ab.ca, and I'm just looking for people to hopefully reach out to me, the ones that I'm not able to get in touch with personally.
Now, you and Don Scott ran a very personal election campaign last year. What has your relationship with Don Scott been like since this happened?
You know, Don is my friend. Don is a very strong advocate for this community as well, and as a member of not only government caucus, but he's also a member of cabinet. He is still able to be an effective voice, and I know that he will continue to advance that. I believe that if I continue as an independent, that Don and I will continue to work well together. We will share whatever needs to be shared, and but from that perspective, he will always be my friend, and we have been in touch, we have spoken.
And what about your friendship and working relationship with Mayor Blake?
Mayor Blake has been a friend as well, and I don't see that relationship changing.
And in regards to, there was calls for you to resign and possibly run in a by-election, forced by-election, and possibly run then to see what the community's thoughts were in regards to the recent actions and the charges. What led to this decision to go forward and get a different response from them this way?
Well, I think I'm going to get a response one way or the other. A by-election is costly and time-consuming, and it could potentially take up to 6 months for that by-election to be called. I think that there's some valuable time that would be lost there, and in this case, this is my way of not running away from the situation, but to face it and take responsibility.
Do you feel like sitting as an independent MLA might disrupt some of the progress that you made on the projects that you were working on, like Highway 63?
Highway 63, first of all, I'll be very clear. That project was committed to by the Premier and the Government Caucus, and has been funded in an alternative fashion. And my understanding is that that will continue. It will continue on schedule, and I thank all of my colleagues in government for that commitment. So I see nothing to change there. I can tell you that the ministries involved and the government officials that are involved do recognize the challenges in Wood Buffalo, and regardless, they will continue to try and advance that. If I see things that need to be advanced, regardless of what my role is, I would certainly be communicating that to Minister Scott, and he would, I know he would try to do his best to advance them as well. Okay, thank you.